Wednesday, March 27th, 2019 at 6:30. Please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is anybody here taping? We are being taped by TCTV. Not live yet, but hopefully someday it might be even live. Can you imagine? So we can't make mistakes up here, but at least now we can. They can edit them. So enjoy everybody for watching. We're going to start moving on to public comments. Any public comments at this time? Yes, Mr. Bennett, come on up. Just identify yourself for the record, please. Is this one page or two?
Stuff for notes and stuff.
Okay, let me take, I have to take notes too then.
Jeffrey Bennett,
Yes.
77 Patriotsville Road. I am a member of the Templeton Advisory Committee. I am here tonight as a private citizen. A couple weeks back, I came for you and asked a couple of questions.
You did.
One regarded an annual town meeting article involving a capital thing of a dump body of $17,500.
Yep.
It showed up on the expenditure report as spent. I indicated that I'd received an email from the town administrator that the dump body had not been bought, and my question at the time was regarding what was, other than what the money was spent on, how and why a town accountant would come about approving the spending of a special article on something other than what it was appropriated for. I looked at the special town meeting in November of 17, and even though this involves a fiscal 18 item, but there was no article questioning, asking town meeting this and that, and I was informed that you would have an answer for me. I haven't heard anything in a couple of weeks. I know it's that time of the year, it's busy.
You didn't get you didn't get an email or anything?
I did not.
Okay, all right.
I can go home and double check and
No,
let you know, but I
No,
did not.
I will
did not
double
catch
check
an
on
email.
that. Karen, can you?
No, we simply, given the timing of the meetings, budget, some other things, we did not get an opportunity to send that. We do have a response, and we'll get that out in the mail with copies to this body by Monday morning.
Sounds good. Does that help you?
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I just ask a little bit, not much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Thank you. Any other public comments? I see none. Meeting minutes for March 13th, 2019.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of March 13th, 2019 as written.
Okay, motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion concerning the minutes?
Hold on for a minute. Why is that?
I see none. Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. And there is no executive session minutes. Moving on to new business, appointments and introductions.
Mr. Chairman, may I just
Yes.
ask a question? In
Sure.
the draft motions, there are two sets of minutes. May I ask why that is?
There are two sets of minutes.
3/9/19 and 3/13/19? Holly, may I ask why?
There is what? I'm sorry.
It says, I move to approve the minutes of 3/9/19 and 3/13/19.
There was
I
a
had
date.
taken 3-9 out, they're not ready yet.
Okay,
And
thank you.
didn't remove that from the,
All right, so those will be in the next meeting?
hopefully. Mallory has to do those. She's
Okay,
just gonna
thank
write
you.
out straight.
That was for the 3/9, correct?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
for the one
That was
I
our
wasn't
budget
at.
workshop
Gotcha.
Saturday.
Oh, that's the budget.
That's gonna take her some time.
Yeah, she's got so much going on in that
Yep.
office right now.
No, I
Okay, thank
understood.
you.
Good question, Diane. Anything else? Okay.
Yeah, while we're on that subject.
Yep.
H is not supposed to be there
In the
H.
motions.
in the motions. That was also removed from the agenda. So I will move up to H. Sorry about that.
So I is H?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay,
And
thank
H
you.
you can just cross out.
Thank you.
Anything else? You good? Okay. So I had a motion, a second, and would you roll call Diane?
Yes.
Yeah. Doug?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well, again. Making sure it's on the record, because we know we have people watching us all the time. Appointments and introductions, Mr. Tanzini?
We have no introductions for you this evening, but we do have before you the prospective appointment of Lisa Dembek, I hope I'm saying that correctly, to the Cultural Council.
Great.
Are you Lisa?
I am Lisa Dillon.
Hi, Lisa, I'm Diane.
Hi Diane, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So I move to approve and appoint Lisa Dembek to Templeton Cultural Council for a term ending June 30th, 2022.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any other discussion concerning the appointment of Lisa Dembek, right?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can I just say welcome and thank you for getting involved. I used to be on the Cultural Council, and it's
Yeah, I had.
great experience.
Yeah, I had a good conversation with Pat Gale, and she was all excited that
Yeah.
somebody else wanted to come on board.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, motion and a second. Any other discussion? See none? Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes. Julie?
Yes,
And I vote yes as well. Good luck to you,
Welcome.
and I
Thank
hope things
Welcome.
go well.
welcome.
Yep, welcome.
We
Thank
need,
you.
we need more residents to fill some of our other voids in the community as well, our other committees and boards as well. But thank you for stepping up, appreciate it. Peaceful Pines automatic amusement license?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I will just sit back in my chair, but I need to recuse myself from this.
Understood.
Because it's family.
understood. Is anybody here from the Pines? No?
Don't usually come.
Okay,
They're all set, they have everything. in
everything's
order.
paid up?
Mhm.
Everything's good? Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
move to approve the automatic amusement license renewal for Peaceful Pines to expire October 31st, 2019.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second?
I have a motion, and a second, any other discussion? I see none. Julie?
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. And you got the abstain by Diane, correct? For the record, thank you.
Actually, it's a recusal.
Recusal, excuse me,
There's no abstain.
recusal. I had to write that down, it's a good word. The subordination lien on North Main Street in Hubbardston, so what's that? Yeah, Hubbardston? Let's see.
I was confused on that.
Mr. Tanzini?
These are subordination of lien agreements, that liens that had been placed on the premises under the Community Development Block Grant Housing Rehab Program. And they're being refinanced, the primary mortgage. It has been pretty customary for the board to subordinate to that new financing.
I move to approve the subordination of lien agreement in the amounts of, lien agreements, sorry, in the amounts of $39,700 and $15,000 for 9 Main Street, Hubbardston, and for the chairman to sign.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second?
I have a motion, second, any other discussion?
I'm confused on the address. Is it Hubbardston Road?
It's Hubbardston.
It's
It's
Hubbardston.
Hubbardston.
Town of Hubbardston, this was a joint.
It was
You were
joint,
the
okay.
grantee,
And they,
and the monies flow back to you, and we're
Okay.
responsible for the ongoing administration.
right,
Technically, this actually qualifies for an automatic subordination, doesn't actually even need to be on your agenda,
Okay.
but it's been our practice to put all these before you, so
Mhm.
that you're aware of what's going on.
Okay, great, thank you.
okay, so I have a motion, do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Okay, I have a motion, second, any other discussion? See none. Julie?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Subordination of lien for Michael's Lane in Baldwinville.
I move to approve the subordination of lien agreement in the amount of $12,029.25 for 90 Michaels Lane, Baldwinville, and for the chairman to sign.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion, second, any other discussion? I see none. Diane?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes,
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well, just changing it up a little bit.
I'm good, hon. Right here.
I know.
Changing it up with you.
Okay, grandfather clock at the Templeton Elementary School. Diane?
Yeah, I'll speak to that.
Thank
So, it has come to our attention that the Historical Society has wanted to keep the clock that has been at the Templeton Elementary School. And it is the disposition of the school building committee that they would like to go back to the Templeton Elementary School. And they've actually cut out a notch for it to go into a place at the Templeton Elementary School. And we would like to bring it before the board for we are bringing it now before the Board of Selectmen for your vote, and hopefully your approval for it to go back to the Templeton Center Elementary School, to the new building.
Is anybody from the Historical Society here? Do you want to come and just identify yourself, and do you have any information on the clock?
Dennis Rich, I don't have any information, frankly, on the clock. I
Okay.
just know that we have been interested in keeping it because it was stored at the Historical Society during the change from the old school to the new school. The feeling, I think, of the society was that it would be more accessible to the public if it was kept at the society. If it's in the school, there won't be any public access to see this clock. There are some people who come along occasionally who are interested in some of these items. I am actually, frankly, not that familiar with the origin of the clock, but I don't know if Diane, you have any?
It's been at the Templeton Center Elementary School
I
for a
know that.
long time, and it was only
Right.
supposed to be meant for storage at the Historical Society, not to be
Right.
kept.
But I don't know how it originally arrived at the school.
I don't remember,
Yeah,
but it's been there for a long time.
Right.
So,
I do know that they, since the planning process of the new school and the development of the plans, they, since the start, they had a,
They incorporated that clock into the
They did.
making of
They
their
did.
lobby and.
even the
yes.
color schemes, and they actually used the clock as a focal point, I guess,
And the
during the planning.
murals, everything.
I understand the council's perspective, and I think that's a great thing, but I mean, I don't know, I think,
would there be any means to accommodate public access to it, or?
well, I mean, there's over 500-plus kids
parents.
going there, so I mean, you
And
figure,
the kids.
I mean, I mean,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
can we table this until our next meeting so that we can find out the origin and whether or not it was donated to the specific school or just donated to the town? I would like to know those
That would
answers.
be, I think,
Because I can say that I had never seen it. My children had never seen it until it was stored and visible.
I had
at
always
the
seen it.
Historical Society, only because I just didn't have reason to be in that school, I guess. So it's a really nice history. I can't recall all the detail. So my curiosity is just, was it a donation to
Our
the
committee would
town?
like a decision
Or
made.
was it,
And my kids went to kindergarten through third grade there, and I saw the clock in the lobby every time I went there. And my kids learned how to analog tell time on that clock.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
I understand. I mean, obviously, do I have a motion then?
I would like to make a motion to have the clock put back in the Templeton Center Elementary School.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
Yeah, I would second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion concerning the clock and the location where it is now and where they needs to be at the Temple Elementary School? Well,
Once
potentially at the
again-
Temple Elementary School.
Once again, I would just like to know the history and where it originated. I know it has been in the school. Was it a donation from a, town family that they wanted it in the school, or was it a donation to the town?
I would hope that Brian Tangway would know that.
Yeah, well, that's why
I'm sure that Brian probably does.
and he's not here, so,
I think maybe if we could delay till the next meeting to find out what the origin of the clock was. And,
I would just be curious to know before I made a vote.
I think
Okay,
curiosity is fine, but at this point, that we're moving forward with murals and we're moving forward with the rest of, the notch is already there.
I'll talk to Brian about it, and if he can't come, I'll try to find out what the situation was, why it was placed in the school in the first place.
There's a
So if
motion
I
and a
can
second
comment.
on the table.
Um,
I mean, I would too also be very interested in what the origins of it is. But regardless of what the origins of it is, the school has already been basically designed around the clock going back to it. So regardless of how the origin came about, the right thing to do is to put the clock back at the school. But again, I would be very interested in what its origin is also. But regardless of what its origin is, I would support it going back to the school.
Understood. I have a motion on the floor and a second. Do I have any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Regarding the clock, I was on the elementary school building committee. I went to a bunch of the meetings, and the clock, along with, I said they were gonna keep some of the bricks from the outside of the building,
Yep.
and a few other things to put in the school, around the grounds or something like that. So the plan has been there the whole time to put that clock, because that was one of the things, what are we gonna do with it? Because it was one of those, it's an item, you just can't say, well, we'll sell it or whatever. So the plan, many meetings, it was discussed and agreed upon that would go back into that school. It was there when I was there in the sixties, when I went to that school in the sixties. So it's been there. I mean, it was there when I got there, and
You went to school there in the sixties? Wow. Did they have chalkboards back then?
yes, they did.
Okay.
Poor Jeff.
Hey, we used to have to step over each other at picnic tables for lunch.
It was pretty small
in the
downstairs,
building. It was,
yeah.
you know.
My kids went there too.
But the clock was, I remember being at the meetings, I went to a lot of them, and that came up right away. It was one of those things that, yeah, we're gonna accommodate it to move it into the school.
And if I do remember, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Diane, when the Historical Society came forth and to store it,
Store it,
they agreed to store it.
store it.
And I think Brian was the one that, again, my memory's not the best, so you have to bear with me. I think Brian was the one that said that they would, obviously they would take it and store it, and they actually
They would
moved
give
it
it back.
too. And you guys, the Historical Society moved it, and it was just for a storage because the school was coming down.
We can't change our mind now.
So it was kind of difficult to, but I,
It would be better, I mean, it is a trade-off, you could see it, you know, Historical Society. Maybe
There are
we
many
can
public
get some
events held at that
more
school.
on the history of the clock, whatever
Right.
it turns out to be.
which I think that would be
put it
good.
there in the
Mhm.
Historical Society, and then,
Right.
you know.
There's definitely a good partnership, and having memorabilia, especially town memorabilia, which goes back a long ways, in different town buildings, I think is also a great thing as well.
But as far, all the meetings I can remember attending, that was one of the things that
Understood.
came up all
Gotcha.
the time, and it was to go back in
I
there.
gotcha. Yes, sir.
I went to school in the forties, I don't remember the clock being there, actually, so,
So,
I have nothing to say about that.
I just think it would be interesting to
Yeah.
find out how it arrived there. for the
Yes,
first place.
I think
Rather than just stored there.
Right, no, and I think Doug's got the right point. I mean, obviously, it's been there for a few decades. How and when it got there, I think I would like to know that as well. You know, why it got there. I mean, you know, the when, where, and whys, I think, should come out. I think Brian should be, and the society should maybe look into that maybe, and provide us some information back. But again, I don't think that's gonna deviate, like Doug said, as far as where the clock started from and where it needs to go back to based on, you know, based on the agreement that we had with the Historical Society for storing it until the new school was being built and processed. So I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? I see none. Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Julie?
Abstain.
And I vote yes as well. And thank you both for your input. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Baldwinville Elementary School, Mr. Tenzini?
No, this one's mine as
Oh, is
well.
that yours?
Ask Diane to speak to this, she was
Yep.
on the committee.
Okay. Great.
So,
Thanks, Diane.
a memo was written, thank you very much, by Adam and Lori, which was probably much more eloquent than I could be. So I'm just gonna give you a brief synopsis. I hope that you've all had a chance to read the memo. So the Baldwinville Elementary School Disposition Advisory Committee comes to you and is recommending to you to move forward with One Exchange Street LLC with a proposal for $500,000 to purchase the Baldwinville Elementary School. Its proposed use is a cannabis cultivation and processing building. The proposal to purchase the building is over a period of 5 years, and it would come with a 5-year additional monetary or percentage of sales, of which I cannot disclose at this time because of finances, because we have RFIs out, and they're now proprietary. They voted on March 14th, the Disposition Advisory Committee voted not to pursue any other options like auctioning, leasing, renting, and the like, mothballing, or demolition. The sale of the building comes with no monetary involvement on the part of the town of Templeton, which is the best-case scenario that we could have hoped for.
Yes.
Because your charge was for us to sell the building, of which this would meet that expectation. The One Exchange LLC will be a good neighbor because they plan to address building mechanicals, security, and odor control. It would also bring in approximately $15,000 plus or minus on the tax roll, as well as this business utilizing a vast amount of water and electric. Additionally, they plan to propose to renovate the building in order to maintain its historical and architectural integrity as laid out in the in our School Disposition Advisory Committee proposal, in their proposal. They have laid out plans for each floor of the building. As they say, I'd like to read this word for word because they spoke this very well. Municipalities never have enough money. The fiscal condition of cities and towns in Massachusetts, many of which have had a shortfall, greatly affect the type and quality of public services. While the federal debt and deficit drive news stories, many of us never hear of our own municipality's finances in Massachusetts. The means of identifying existing fiscal distress is critical, but identifying it before it sets in can make a difference. Finally, this opportunity before the town of Templeton is a new industry that can certainly generate revenues, driving economic development moving forward. And we had voted before to want to have cannabis here, and as well as retail sales, not just bulk sales. So this would not have retail sales out of this building at all. And it would have a lot of surveillance and and again, they would be a good neighbor. Everything that we heard, they would be a good neighbor. And there's also from Miari's and Harrington, some order of 4 steps that would need to be taken. And not necessarily in that order, but 4 steps that should be taken, which was well laid out as well. That was in your packet, which I won't go over, but it was well. So we would like, as an advisory committee, for your approval to move forward with this proposal. Is there anything I left out, Carter?
Not that I can think of.
Thank you.
Well done.
I think that I would
Well
like
done.
to, I personally would like to thank the committee for all the hard work that they did. I came in after Cameron had resigned, and they had done a lot of great work. And I really want to thank the entire committee. Dennis was on the committee, and Adam and Lori did a phenomenal job putting things together and sending things out. And this was a well-put-together proposal,
Yeah, this is great. You can possibly imagine how many buildings towns and cities have that are not being utilized and they're mothballed, so to speak. To have this happen to this awesome community, it's gonna be it's great. You guys all did a great job. Hats off to all of you. I mean, this is a great job moving forward.
Yeah, this is an excellent outcome.
Yeah, you couldn't ask
I
for
think
anything
this is an
better.
excellent opportunity
Okay,
for this town.
all right. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Yeah, so I would move to direct the staff to commence negotiations with One Exchange Place LLC for the purchase of the Baldwinville Elementary School, the drafting of a so-called host community agreement relative to the cultivation and processing of cannabis with said firm, and the preparation of related zoning amendments for action by the planning board and town meeting, with thanks from a grateful community.
I will second that motion.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? I see none. Julie?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Again, great job, always.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you,
John.
Dennis. Oh, John?
Yes, yes, Mr.
If-
Tanzini.
If I might, procedurally, I think
Bless you.
what I'd like to do, bear in mind that there are gonna be legal costs, and at this point, our legal budget's got some challenges. So what I'd like to do, if it's agreeable, is we'll put together a legal budget. We'll be looking for that at the annual town meeting. We expect one, if not more, responses to our request for interest on the cannabis side of the house itself. And that closes Monday, April 1st, close of business. So we're gonna need funds to deal with the disposition of the building, the rezoning, and these other proposals that we're anticipating Monday.
Do you have a guesstimation of how much money that's gonna be, or we just?
I'm working with town council on that now,
Understood.
but
I got you,
it's gonna be low five figures.
I got you.
So what I would like to do, though, is put together a meeting in the neighborhood and get these
Okay, that's
folks
perfect.
in here. It'll be open to the town at large, but we would be sure to invite the neighborhood. They were invited before the proposals went out, so they could comment, have any questions on the request for proposals. But now that we have a firm proposal, I'd like to get back out to the neighborhood and start educating them as quickly as possible. Their support would be very important
Right.
in gaining the kind of zoning amendment we'd be looking for. So if that's agreeable,
Sure.
budget from town council, look to get it onto the town meeting as a standalone warrant article to deal with the school, the several host community agreements, and educational meeting for the neighborhood and the community at large.
Okay.
Yep.
You okay with that, Julie?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Sounds good. Regarding the FY '20 insurance rates, Mr. Tanzini? Do we have-
Well, we had some very good luck this year. We spoke to you about this briefly at the last budget discussions. 0.34% on the health side of the house,
Really?
0 on the Medicare MedX side of the house, and a negative 6% in short change on the dental side of the house. During this process, this year, we did bring in a independent insurance advisor, NFP, if I remember correctly,
Yep.
who presented to the committee at some length, spoke about their ability to try to further educate employees and their ability to assist us. We are not insurance specialists. This is not what we do
Right.
day in, day out. The employees, very much like the Blue Cross, but we know we've got to constantly be scanning the environment for what else is going on here. So the recommendation of the Insurance Advisory Committee is that the Select Board accept the rates that have been put before you for fiscal '20, and that we engage NFP as an independent insurance advisor. They'll give us the balance of this fiscal year for 0, and fiscal '20 is $9,500. They did condition that upon them determining whether or not the RFP went out. I think that in the end, that's gonna have to be a decision by this body. But I would certainly, we'll continue to work with them. We'll bring NFP back in, have several meetings. We'll keep trying to work with the Insurance Advisory Committee. But for this year anyways, actually for the last number of years, and going forward, given all the changes we've been making and the continued good health of our employees, Costs are in pretty good shape, and we would respectfully request your affirmative action on the report of the Insurance Advisory Committee.
Great. And all the departments are on this now, right? All the departments?
Yeah, we've,
Meaning like light, water, sewer?
yep,
all
you know,
departments.
we took steps last year. We aligned the prescription
Mm-hmm.
benefit platform across, that's the same across the town now completely.
Yep.
And we changed the legacy PPO program, the Blue Care Elect, by requiring some high deductibles.
Right.
And agreeing that we would not contribute more to that legacy, that high-cost plan, than we contribute towards the HMOs.
Right.
We no longer have anyone on that PPO. The two folks that were on it have dropped
Okay.
back to our other programs. That has saved some substantial money for us. But we are required by statute to continue to offer the program.
Understood. Well, thank you for the update. I appreciate it. Okay, I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I move to accept the health and dental insurance rates proposed by Maya Health Benefits Trust for FY '20, including our request to enroll in the Smart Shopper program, and further to retain the services of NFP Associates, an independent insurance advisor, for the balance of FY '19 and FY '20 in an amount not to exceed $9,500.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? I see none. Julie?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
I'll abstain.
Okay, I vote yes as well. And, Mr. Tanzini, tell that committee, great job. That was, they did some really good work, working together to achieve, something I didn't think that would even go to, 0.34%, and that's great. Good work.
Practically unheard of.
Yeah, I know, I was just gonna say, it's usually like 6%. To go from, 0.34%, that's awesome. Thanks to our healthy employees, I'm sure they have a huge to-do with it, so stay healthy. Eat right, exercise. Okay, right, Jeff?
Sugar and preservatives.
That's what I'm talking about. Canned foods, I got it. Are we doing, you said, are we doing H?
Not this evening, with the school superintendent not able to attend the session. That decision was deferred till Wednesday,
Okay.
this coming Wednesday.
Okay.
Do we have any old business?
We do, however, Mr. Chairman, I became H, and we would seek your action on Mass General Law, Chapter 53, Section 18B adoption, if that would be your pleasure. If you want to hold that till next week with the school, we can rediscuss it. But at the last workshop, the consensus was
Yeah.
that was right to come to this board for
Mhm.
action this evening.
I move to adopt Mass General Law, Chapter 53, Section 18B.
Second.
A motion, a second. Any other discussion?
Moving on.
I see none. Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. That's gonna be a great attribute to the community. And am I missing?
I'm thinking I'm missing something.
I am.
Covered everything.
Do we, any old business, Mr. Tanzini?
I have none, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have new business?
I
Yeah,
have no.
Yeah, we're gonna do that in
Oh.
a second, but,
I think you
this-
wanted to discuss this.
Okay,
Yeah, we can
Old business.
bring that up under board and staff member comments. or-
sure.
Okay.
We did get, whatever your pleasure is. Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I was concerned, what's your name, ma'am?
Leslie Davis.
Leslie Davis, and you
You
were,
already voted on my,
oh, we did, okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're good then,
yeah.
okay.
I didn't wanna leave and.
No, because the
disturb you.
camera would have followed you out anyway, so.
Okay.
No, sir.
They look good.
I'm just teasing, I'm just teasing.
Thank you so much.
just-
Thank you so much.
You're
You're
welcome.
very welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
Just wanna make sure we did everything.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Board and staff member comments?
Just if I might,
Mhm.
we've received this request from the Lions Club for its annual Easter egg hunt. We don't have a formal application process policy. That's one that's continued to be vetted, needs to be done right.
Mm-hmm.
But unless there's objection, we would go ahead in our office and approve it in keeping with the policy where that was headed, getting the release, getting the insurance certificate. And I just wanted to put that before you. If you want them to come in and present, or if you like it scheduled for formal board action, we can certainly do that on the 10th. But given the date of the event, we wanted to notify you of our intent to take this action unless there's objection.
This has been done every year for as long as I can remember, so I would like to make a motion to hold the annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 20th at 10 a.m. on the Common Bandstand in Templeton Center, subject to them obtaining everything that is needed that we would gather from anyone else to hold anything on the Common.
And I would second
I
that.
have a motion and a second, and this is concerning the annual Easter egg hunt sponsored by the Templeton Lions Club. Again, it's Saturday, April 20th, 10 a.m. There is a rain location, which is gonna be the Narragansett Regional Middle School cafeteria,
Oh, thank you, John.
but obviously, hopefully with the weather we're having, hopefully it's gonna be outside at the bandstand area. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? I see none. Diane? Diane?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I have to abstain, since I am a Lion myself.
Oh, okay.
Any other board staff member comments?
I have people I can pass this out to.
Adam, you have anything? You're doing a great job.
Patriots season's over.
Patriots over, but they're coming back. Thanks for noting. Mr. Tinsey, anything else?
I have nothing under board and staff member comments, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, do we need to go to an executive session?
We do, Mr. Chairman. I need to
Mhm.
request that you enter into executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21.2, to conduct strategy sessions with non-union personnel, specifically the town administrator, and under 21-3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining when the conduct in open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining, specifically the several bargaining units of the Public Works Unit, the Police Officers Unit, and the Police Dispatchers Unit.
So moved?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? See none? Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. We're
Will
gonna
we be
move into
coming
executive.
back
We will,
out?